we are now going on to our next session, which I believe is a highly awaited session. I got a couple of messages last night after we finished and we were going home after yesterday's session. And I got a couple of messages saying that we are waiting for the puja session. So I know that it's because it's a subject that touches everybody's heart. I think it's something that we all do in our own way. Some do it elaborately, think about it, plan for it. Some do it on the fly, some do it in the train, some do it in the bus. You know, it depends on our lifestyle, where we are. But I know very few people who don't do any kind of puja. I don't know. There are, I'm sure, but I don't know of too many people who don't do any kind of puja. So it's a subject that touches everybody in some way or the other. So I think it was a great idea to include this piece on puja and the Vedic Wisdom Festival, because like Shravani has demonstrated, devotion to Bhagwan and expressing our devotion to Bhagwan and our love for Bhagwan, I think is a very important part of understanding this Vedic wisdom. I think is a very important part, and it cannot be left out of any Vedic Wisdom Festival. So I'm happy to say that we have introduced this section on puja and how and the what, why, and the how of a puja in this particular section. It's a short section, but it will be hugely fruitful and useful, more than fruitful, a useful section for all of us. And to navigate us through this simple yet important function of a puja, I have Sonali Ambasankar. I am sure all of you all remember Sonali from yesterday. She was the wonderful teacher who trained those 12 children to chant the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. She works with Swamini, she works with Shine, and one of her other talents is also knowing how to conduct, stroke, do, and what it takes to make a proper puja. So thank you, Sonali, for joining us. And this particular session will be a Q&A with Sonali. So Sonali, while everybody has some idea of puja, and usually it is their own conception of a puja, because the house they have been brought up in, the way the parents have done puja, or they've seen relatives, or they've attended pujas, or they've gone to a temple. Everybody has some concept of a puja. But what really is a puja? What is really a puja?
Okay, so before I take on this question, Suresh, I want to let you in into a small secret. Okay, before I was introduced to Vedanta about 7 to 8 years ago, I too had all these kinds of questions. You know, all sorts of doubts about why to conduct a puja, how should it be done? Is it a very, very elaborate process, and so on. Being a convent educated person, it added to a lot of confusion and a lot of doubts. Yeah. I felt that if Bhagwan Rama decides in my heart, then why should I go out and do a physical puja for him? And for a long time, I always thought that, grandmothers and grandfathers are supposed to do a puja, and not the younger ones or not the other members in the household. So it's only after coming to Vedanta and understanding the meaning of doing a puja from Swaminiji and learning the steps in a systematic manner from my dear friend Rashmi Kaikini, that I started appreciating the beauty and the stunningness of doing a regular puja in my house. Okay, so coming back to your question. Puja is a ritual of worship to express my love, my bhakti towards Bhagwan. Technically, the word puja is derived from the Sanskrit dhatu puj, which means reverence, adoration, or worship. It is a combination of 3 karmas: Kāyikam, Vachikam, and Manasa karma. Kāyikam karma, which involves my body, my limbs. Vachikam karma, which involves my speech in the form of chanting different shlokas and mantras. And a Manasa karma, a mental action, a prayer, thinking of Bhagwan and praying to Bhagwan. Just like we do puja in the temples, our Puranas and our Agama Shastra teach us that we can worship Bhagavan in our homes as well. And throughout generations, millions of people have experienced the power and the impact of doing puja in their lives. Now, you might have the question about...
I'm, the first word that you used to describe puja was, you said it's a ritual, right? Now, the fact of the matter is that the moment you use the word ritual, I've heard a lot of people being very fashionable and saying that, oh, I believe in God, but I don't believe in rituals. I'm a great bhakt, but I don't believe in rituals. I don't have the time for rituals, and rituals don't make me closer to God. Big deal. I've heard a lot of people saying this. So because I'm picking on that word because that's the first word you used when you started describing puja. So how do you so why should I do a physical puja? I mean, why should I be ritualistic?
So let's understand this word, this ritual. What does this word mean? Okay. If we understand it as a repetitive action, which involves a series of steps, then in our everyday lives, all of us are being ritualistic. One of my friends has a pre-sleep ritual. So she will put on her air diffuser, and then she'll comb her hair, and then she'll cream her hands, and then, go for a sound sleep. So all this is actually being ritualistic. The fact that a sequence and a structure of a ritual adds certainty and beauty to our lives is what a ritual means. There is a structure in the steps that we take to dress up, in the way we lay out our tables, in the way we celebrate birthdays. We light the candle, then we blow the candle, so on and so forth, and also how we hoist the flag. So just as we express our love for our family and our loved ones by giving them flowers, cooking their favorite meals, singing to them, we do actions that express our love and gratitude towards Bhagavan.
So what do you mean by love towards Bhagavan? How is this love different?
Okay, so we all feel very inspired, elevated, and motivated by the people whom we look up to, right? So as a child, I was very, very inspired by the stories of Bhagavan Rama and his courage. So I too wanted to be very brave like him. As a teenager, when I went to my tennis classes, I loved Steffi Graf. I wanted to know all about her and what she likes and what she eats and her favorite food and her birth date and so on and so forth. And sometimes I even wanted to dress up like her. So in the same manner, we are drawn to a particular Devi or a Devata. We want to know more about them. We want to imbibe all their qualities and virtues. We even want their blessings for every new project that we undertake. We have a special place in our heart and our homes for them. We clean and light up that place. We even decorate that entire place. We offer them their favorite food. We express our love towards them. In fact, what we are doing is we are doing a puja. Now, who is Bhagavan? So Bhagavan is the one who has all the virtues in limitless measure. He is all knowledge, all power, all wealth, all glories, all dispassion, and the ultimate. He is everything. And the different Devis and Devatas are different aspects of this one whole Bhagavan. So why should we do a puja? Coming back to the first question, a couple of reasons. One, to express our gratitude to Bhagavan for all that we have been given. We talk to Bhagavan through the puja. Since puja is a physical, oral, and a mental action combined all together, my body, speech, and my mind are all involved in the puja, and this helps me become an integrated person. So I think what I say, and I say what I do, right? All three are integrated. The beautiful forms, the colors, the different alankaras, fragrances, and the devotional shlokas that are all said and used in the puja, they all help me to surrender. Being a karma, it is an action, and it offers drishtaphalam, visible results of peace of mind and clarity. Performing a puja, one gains insight, a gladness of heart, and a cheerfulness born of relating to Bhagavan, the one who protects me and nurtures me from moment to moment. And lastly, probably something which we all have to keep in mind is doing a puja brings you punya, credit points, okay, for meritorious actions which help you to neutralize the different effects of papa experienced as suffering in our life. So we have received this puja, this formalized way of expressing our love, our bhakti from our rishis, especially from our smarta worship. And puja works because our bhakti makes it work. Our bhava, the devotion that we do the puja with, the rituals with, that makes it work. Our body, mind, sense complex and the entire creation are made up of Pancha Mahabhutas. The 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. All these are gifts from Bhagavan. And what can we do, or what can we possibly offer Bhagavan, who has given us all these building blocks of the creation? We make a symbolic offering of each of these 5 elements in the puja.
Let me ask you, therefore, if I want to do a puja, how do I go about doing a puja? Also, see, I am typically Bombayite. A lot of people listening to this, out of the 80 people, I would guess almost 40-50 people from Bombay. We have to catch the 8:05 or the 8:17 in the morning, right? We have to be in office by 9:15, 9:30, right? We don't have so much time to do a puja, with all due respect. I mean, in the sense that, of course, we want to do a puja and we want to do it the right way, but we don't have the time. And what about all the materials for doing a puja? I mean, if it's going to be getting together 6 or 7 things, even that requires a little bit of time. So can you explain how do you exactly go about doing a puja and what are the materials required?
Okay, so a simple basic puja is a very short one. It's very simple. It does not take us much time at all. Once learned well, in fact, it probably just takes 5 to 7 minutes of your time in the morning. Okay, and I have been doing this regularly. So I know that that's all. That's the time that is needed for the simple Panchopachara puja, which is a simple 5-step puja with the 5-fold offering. Now, in this puja, we make a symbolic offering of the Panchamahabhutas that I mentioned through these 5 offerings. Okay, so symbolically, the flowers, pushpa, stand for space. Then dhupam, incense, stands for air. Deepam stands for fire. Naivedyam, food, stands for the water element. And sandalwood paste or gandham stands for the earth element. There is also a more elaborate puja known as the Shodashopachara puja, a 16-step puja. And one can do a simple 5-step puja every day. Whereas, you know, you can keep special days or festivals or special tithis or birthdays to do a complete 16-step puja, the Shodashopachara puja. Now, what we will talk of is the 5-step puja, and we will also have a video that is shared later on to show you that it just takes you about 5 to 7 minutes to do a complete puja. Yeah. While you can offer anything with devotion, it is important to learn the systematic way of doing the puja with the necessary chants. So while it might take you a little while to learn to do the steps and to learn also to learn the shlokas or the chants that go along with these steps, once you are familiar, once you have done it for a regular number of times, then it just takes you a very few minutes to do the puja every day. It is a very, very fulfilling process that you can start your day with. Yes. There are elaborate pujas that are done where you can invite your the pandits or the priests and get them to do a puja along maybe with a havan or a homam. But everyday puja can be easily done by you once you're very familiar with the steps. There are many, many people who have learned from Rashmi how to do these simple steps, and they have been practicing how to do the steps every day. So practicing or doing a regular puja every day. most of our homes have an altar where we have the deities kept. Choice of the deities is a personal one. So it does not matter whether you represent Iśvara in a particular form, in this particular form, or in some other particular form, because all the forms are different aspects of one Iśvara. So most of us have different devatas. You could have a Krishna Murti, you could have a Ganesha Murti, you could have a Saraswati Murti. We can pray to all of them together while we do this puja. We perform the puja for our Ishta Devatas. Now, different family members could have different Ishta Devatas, and that's fine. We could also have our Kula Devatas or Kula Devis at the altar. I'll take you through the items that are required to do the puja, and you'll see that they're very simple ones, simply available. If you don't find them easily available around you, Amazon is always there to deliver the items to your place. So if we look at the items first, now before we start the puja, there are a few things that we need to keep in mind. We take a bath, we wear clean, untattered clothes, remove our footwear, and prepare the altar, keep the altar clean, and sit in front of the altar in a comfortable position. Now let's look at the altar. The puja begins by invoking the presence of Bhagavan in a given symbol. The symbol could be a picture or a murti of the devata, such as Ganapati as shown here, or Devi Lakshmi, or Devi Saraswati, or we could even invoke Bhagavan in a lump of turmeric powder. It could also be a kalasha, a brass pot of water. If a murti is not available, if a kalasha is not available, then a photograph of the Devi or a devata can definitely be used. The altar can be decorated as per one's wish. You can do lots of decorations. Like we see in the Ganesha festivals, the entire altar is decorated with so many alankaras. So that's up to you. There are certain items, certain utensils which are needed, which need to be, we need to keep them together. And once you have them together, you can use them every day. Metal vessels or utensils can be used. And try to keep these metal vessels or these items separately. Don't mix them with your everyday kitchen uses. Yeah? I will take you through what is exactly needed as well. The next is you need an oil lamp with oil and a wick in it. This is known as the deepam. You could also use a ghee lamp with, instead of the oil, you could put ghee in it. The puja typically begins with lighting the lamp. Lighting the lamp is very important in the culture, and because the light symbolizes knowledge. We make sure that throughout the entire puja that we are doing, the lamp is always lit till the puja is completed. Next, we need a panchapatra, okay? Basically a small vessel or a glass with a spoon, spoon in it, with water in it, and you could keep a plate underneath to offer the water in the plate. When we start the puja, we invoke an attitude of purity within ourselves by doing achamanam, which involves chanting Bhagavan's name 3 times and sipping the water with each chant. Again, you will see all these steps and you will see that they're very simple. You will see when we run the video. This is followed by a prayer to the Guru, who represents Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, and the ultimate truth. A prayer to Ganesha, who is the remover of obstacles, and a prayer to Devi Saraswati as well. Next, we do a pranayama, Nadi Shodhan pranayama, simple pranayama, which helps us, it is basically for ourselves, which helps us gain a relative composure of mind. So if we are too distracted, we have to run behind, things and get this thing and that thing ready, the pranayama will help you compose yourself. Then we take a sankalpa. Now, taking the sankalpa is an essential part of the puja. It identifies the person who is doing the puja and the purpose for which the puja is done. You could have a lot of different purposes, and it is typically important to state your purpose before you start the puja. A common purpose that is used, that is said in all the pujas, is Duritakshaya, the removal of duritas, which is impurities of the mind. You may pray for many other reasons, like I said, but an important aspect of all the prayers is to seek a mind which is free from confusion and wrong thinking, and especially for students of Vedanta. Then we need Chandanam, which is also known as Gandha, which is basically a sandal paste made out of sandal powder. Along with the Chandanam, we could also use the Haridra Kumkumam, which is the Haldi Kumkum, the yellow turmeric powder, and the red Kumkum powder. Next, we need Dhupam. So Dhupam are our incense sticks with the stand to hold that stick. It could also be a Dhupam, which is in the form of a cone. Then we need some flowers kept on a plate. While offering these flowers, we could have a collection of flowers, or we could have one flower with different petals removed. We offer these flowers and we address Bhagavan by various names that reveal the nature and describe his glories. So you can chant 16 names, 108 names, or 1008 names of Bhagavan. Now you need not do these 1008 names or even 16 names every day. Okay, this is while offering the flowers. This can be an add-on on special days or special tithis or special festivals. So for example, on the Mahashivratri day, you could offer 108 bilva leaves while chanting the 108 names of Bhagavan Shiva. Then we need the ghanta, a bell. We also then need some naivedyam, food offering. For naivedyam, we try to have fresh fruits. It could also be, if fresh fruits are not available, then we could also have dried nuts, dry fruits, or cooked foods as well. It is also okay to offer, simple, for an everyday puja, we could also offer a simple naivedyam of sugar and milk. We see to it that we do not offer pre-made or yesterday's food, leftover foods as naivedyam. So best to offer fresh fruits or sugar milk, or even dry fruits are great. Karpuram. An important part of the puja is doing the arati. So we need the camphor with the holder to do the arati. And the arati could be performed by dimming the lights or switching off the lights. We need to see the, darshan of Bhagavan can be sought. So just like when we visit the temple, we go around Bhagavan 3 times in a clockwise manner to offer our namaskaras. Since Bhagavan also abides within, you can turn around yourself at your home. When you're doing the puja, you turn around yourself in a clockwise direction 3 times, remaining at the same spot. And this act is known as doing a pradakshina. While performing the puja, if there have been some errors of omission and commission, we have not paid attention, our shraddha, our bhakti, we have been distracted, then you ask forgiveness from Bhagavan for all these distractions and errors of omission and commission. Finally, you offer all these actions that you have done with your body, with your mind, with your speech, senses, and with whatever buddhi, whatever prakriti that you have. With all this, you offer all these actions to Bhagavan Narayana. In the end, you can definitely have the prasad from the altar. So these few things that you see on the slide are the only things that you require to do a daily puja. And I don't think these are too difficult to get. Once you have them every day, once you have them set, every day doing puja is not difficult at all. We can now play the video. Rashmi has very beautifully done a very simple puja, and you can see in the video, it's simple, yet full of bhakti, full of devotion, and very, very easy for everyone to do.
दीपज्योतिः परं ब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो मे हरतु पापं दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते। ॐ अच्युताय नमः। ॐ अनन्ताय नमः। ॐ गोविन्दाय नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। ममोपात समस्तदुरितक्षयद्वारा श्रीपरमेश्वरप्रीत्यर्थं श्रीमहागणपतिपूजां करिष्ये। आचमनीयं समर्पयामि। गन्धान् धारयामि। पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। धूपमामि। दीपं सन्दर्शयामि। ॐ प्राणाय स्वाहा। ॐ अपानाय स्वाहा। ॐ व्यानाय स्वाहा। ॐ उदानाय स्वाहा। ॐ समानाय स्वाहा। ॐ ब्रह्मणे स्वाहा। नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। कर्पूरनीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि। आचमनीयं समर्पयामि। मन्त्रपुष्पं समर्पयामि। यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि तानि विनश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणपदे पदे। प्रदक्षिणनमस्कारान् समर्पयामि। मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं महेश्वर यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं तदस्तु ते। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि।
So as you see, it did not even take 5 minutes to do the entire Panchopachara Puja. Simple, easy to learn, and doable every day. Rashmi has been teaching many people across the world on how to do a puja, including all the different chants as well as the different steps. Please check out more at discoveratma.com/puja. Thank you. Any questions or any comments that need to be taken?
So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sonali. Nicely explained, simply explained. I don't think anybody has any doubt as to how to do a nice, simple 5-step puja at home and still make it to the 828. I think it was very nicely explained. One question I had was, you spoke about having what is the best time for a puja? Somebody is asking. Is Brahma Muhurta the best time for a puja? What is the best time to do a puja?
Yes, definitely. You could do a puja at Brahma Muhurta, morning times, best times, evening times, during the Sandhya Kalam as well. I mean, rather than an elaborate puja, definitely doing the diya and the agarbatti, chanting something for Bhagavan. Typically, generally in all the Indian homes, this is what is done. You light the deepam, you light the dhupam, and you could chant shlokas for Bhagavan. Swaminiji, in case you want to add anything, you could also add in, please.
You're on mute, Swamini.
Yeah, she answered the question.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Great.
Okay. Thank you, Sonali. Thank you very much for this wonderful session on something that we do every day, but we don't know much about. That's the puja. Thank you, very nicely explained, and to Rashmi as well for that wonderful video. Thank you very much.